Right, here's where we start for you on all angles this hour. Mop-up operations are underway on the N4 highway in Mpumalanga. This is where 5 trucks were torched overnight. Police say the drivers were told to leave their vehicles before the trucks were set alight, along with the goods they had been transporting. eNCA's Moloko Moloto is following that story, and he joins us now live from the N4 highway. Moloko, the last time we spoke, you showed us visuals of, firefighters still busy dousing the fire there. How's it looking now?
Well, Masero, the N4 in Waterfall Boven, the small Mpumalanga town, remains a hive of activity. In terms of the fire, it would seem that it's been put off, although you can still see some little bit of smoke, and these men and women, of course, are cleaning up. And what has happened last night, according to the 2 truck drivers we spoke to, the first one to be attacked told us that he saw several men who came out, and they pelted his truck with stones, and they broke a window of his truck, and they were burning grass in the middle of the road. And he told us that they even fired gunshots at his truck, but luckily he was not shot at himself. Now, he tells us that he was transporting the oranges from a farm in Bushbuck Ridge here in Mpumalanga to a harbor in Durban. He says they were going to be shipped to China. You can see the apples even strewn all over here. The other truck, we are told, was carrying animal feed, and the other truck was going to be carrying coal in the town of Middelburg to transport it to to Mozambique. Now, we have had the President, Cyril Ramaphosa, reacting to yesterday's or Sunday's or this weekend's attack on 6 trucks in KwaZulu-Natal. The President saying that they are economic sabotage, Masero, saying that he has appointed a task team to investigate this, and he says that a team from the intelligence agencies will be giving him a report. He was also saying that the idea is to get down to the bottom of this to ensure that if the arsonists, these criminals, are perhaps planning more attacks. And by the way, he was speaking before this latest attacks. He says the idea is to stop them from continuing with this mayhem. Obviously, following this recent attacks, there certainly has to be an expansion in terms of their investigation, taking this matter even beyond the scope of investigation. Now, the up to so far, according to the provincial police, no one has been arrested, and luckily no one has been injured as well. But let's listen to this truck driver who was the first one to be attacked. His truck was the first one to be set alight. His name is Loiso.
There were several people, there were like a group of people who were throwing stones into our trucks. So as I proceed driving, heading towards Middelburg, they were burning the grass on the tire road so that they hypnotize us that we stop. And unfortunately we couldn't, but we couldn't stop. They start firing some shots on the trucks, so we had to stop. I had to stop until they shot my right-hand side tire of the truck, yes.
And did you manage to see how many these people, how many were they?
I think if they were not 9, there were more than that. Yeah.
And how did they ban it? Did they take you out of the truck itself, and yeah, what happened?
Yes. They took me out of the truck with the force. One of the guys were pointing me with the gun, and as he was pointing me with the gun, there was the other guy who threw petrol inside the truck.
Very strategic, it seems, Moloko, with what happened yesterday at Van Reenen's Park in KZN. But tell me, have you gotten the opportunity to speak to police in Mpumalanga about this particular incident?
Well, the provincial police spokesperson said that he wouldn't be able to come to the scene, Masego, because he was busy with other things in the office. He wants us to come to Nelspruit, which is 90 kilometers from where we are, if we were to get a comment regarding this from him. But I have had a chat with Matapelo Peters, who is responsible for communications at the national level, and she's indicating that at this point in time they would want to elevate everything communication-wise to national. I'm just going to ask my colleague, move to this side, there's a truck coming so that you don't get knocked down. But I just want him, Nogo, to show you, careful Nogo, to show you what is actually happening now. This is the truck. This is what is left of this truck that was among the other 5 trucks that one of the 5 trucks that were burned, completely destroyed, Masego. And obviously the remaining thing here is just the smoke. The firefighters still trying to salvage what they can. The police also present here, keeping a close eye. Up to so far, this particular route has been partially opened for traffic. Initially, since this incident last night, it had been cordoned off for traffic. And luckily, none of the 5 truck drivers were seriously injured. One of them told me that his 2 colleagues were slightly injured, but it's nothing serious. Definitely, it is a matter of concern because, Masego, you would recall that this happens as the country, we are marking the 2nd anniversary of the July 2021 uprising, where we saw similar incidents, trucks being burned. And while we do not know whether there's a connection with regard to that, but it is just reminiscent of the lawlessness that we continue to see. And obviously these people understand very well the enormous impact this is having on the economy. As I was saying, the oranges that were being transported to Durban were going to China. Now somebody is going to lose money in the value chain, and obviously some people will be impacted one way or another. But the president is certainly saying that he is concerned about this, and hopefully they are not going to be caught unawares the same way they did this, the police as well as the intelligence services in 2021. I'm just going to ask my colleague to get out of the road so that he is not going to be knocked down by a truck. But as matters stand, no one has been arrested. The president obviously is saying that they will do everything humanly possible to get to the bottom of this and bring those who are responsible to account for their criminal deeds.
And it's going to be very important that intelligence step up, Moloko, especially looking at the fact that this is happening on national roads. Yesterday, Van Rieden's Park, and now today there in Mpumalanga on the N4 highway. So it's going to be very important that intelligence steps in so that we don't find ourselves having to go to another scene. eNCA's Moloko Moloto live for us on the N4 highway in Mpumalanga.